succeed. He will be wonderful. And I'm going to pass, actually, I have said I'm going to chuck this gavel at him, but I'm just going to hand it to him.
Thanks, Melaine. And thank you to everybody who's here today. Through my working life, I've had numerous titles: waiter, tennis instructor, newspaper reporter, and commercial real estate attorney. To name a few, and guy who drops a ball. We'll add that one. When people ask the proverbial, what do you do? Just mentioning one of those monikers was sufficient. On July 1st, I began a new venture, Allegheny County Bar Association President. With that title, I'm going to have to provide a little bit more explanation. What does the Bar Association do? What does being its president entail? Why would you want such a position? And does this mean you can finally make a decent cocktail from that bar? The ACBA means different things to different people, but to me, it means finding my place in the profession. It means getting to know fellow attorneys from vastly different backgrounds, belief systems, and the political spectrum. It means discovering pro bono and public service. It means discovering pro bono and public service opportunities within and outside my daily areas of practice. It means reciprocal referrals of work and back and forth of practice issues of the day. It means joining together to make a statement to support, protect, and defend the rule of law. Those less fortunate, and the civility that being a Pittsburgh lawyer means. As president, I intend to represent to the public, press, politicians, and the bench, those nearly 6,000 members of the ACBA, and those practitioners who have not yet, but will soon, make that leap into our midst. During my presidential year, I intend to reach out to our colleagues working in-house as general counsel and corporate counsel, and to those practicing outside of the central business district. This will include broad concepts, such as planning panel discussions, CLEs, and events in the suburbs. It will include a program called Coffee with Coffee. Well, what, you were expecting that I wouldn't stoop to that level? Where I'll be joined by leaders of our various sections, divisions, and committees for breakfast, coffee, and tea, and an outreach to members and non-members in a variety of suburban communities. We're going to kick it off on Wednesday, July 12th, starting at 7:30 a.m. at the Panera Bread at Montour Church Place in Robinson. And subsequent visits will be the same time, different times same time in the month in Monroeville, the East End, Sewickley, Mount Lebanon, and other great morning spots. I hope you will join me to talk about the ACBA and legal topics and concerns of the day, either before heading into downtown for work or within your own work community in the suburbs. Those types of interactions are why I sought to become the 131st president of the ACBA. It is also because I want to continue and expand our work in gender equality and diversity in the practice workplace and the pipeline to the profession. As a transactional attorney, I hope to educate the public in our profession on the very rules of counselors of law, while not losing sight of the importance of maintaining and enhancing the bond between the bench and the bar. That being said, we cannot lose sight of what taints our profession's image in the community at large. It is not lawyer jokes, but rather lawyers and judges acting unethically and unprofessionally, as offers and our own failures to speak up and put a stop to such. As officers of the court, we cannot rely on others to put a stop to these continuing issues. Be vigilant in your own practice and in the interest of our shared profession. Though I may be the last person you want to mix a decent martini or a pair of wine with a shared meal, I plan to share my other interests with those already so inclined, as well as those willing to give it a try. That includes joining me in some of my running routes downtown, playing some tennis, commiserating over the Pirates, or discussing world religions. If you see me running along Penn Avenue or biking into work on Grand Street, please don't hit me. Or milling around downtown and the coppers milling. Oh, and the bike lanes are not my fault. Or at one of the Coffee with Coffee events, please just say hi and let me know how the ACBA and I can enhance your practice in our shared profession. Now for some personal time. Over my years of participating in the ACBA, I've had the distinct pleasure of having numerous colleagues serve as mentors and sounding boards, not just in the Bar Association, but in the general practice of law as well. My chance to lead our Bar Association would not have been possible without Frederick and Frank. starting me off by insisting that ACBA participation is critical to professional development and in giving back to the community. It was the likes of Jackie Martinez, Justin Goldstein, and Jim Creenan who encouraged my increased participation in the Young Lawyers Division, eventually taking the helm as chair. In that time, as YLD chair, we were awarded the ACBA's first, and thanks to Laura Bunting and others, not the last, ABA YLD Award as the nation's best Young Lawyers Division. Yeah, that doesn't deserve Our receiving that award at that time could not have been done without the support and contributions of YLD council members and committee members like Daniel Dietrich, Tony Thompson, and Aaron Hamilton. It also comes from having served under incredible past presidents such as Ken Gormley, the Honorable Kim Berkeley Clark, Jim Carroll, and Jake Blackman. Strong encouragement from Vince Grogan, Panina and Marvin Lieber, and Bob Kunis set me on the track to leadership as the Pennsylvania Bar Association Zone 12 governor. An incredible support and necessary support from my firms and leadership, such as Dennis Watson, Ron Brown, Maggie Sitko, Matt Carl, and Bob Bloomley, have enabled me to take the time that I needed in order to succeed in the ACBA. We speak of the need to seek out and develop mentors and support networks all the time. All the people I've mentioned before have been critical members of that network, as well as many others for whom I don't have time to specifically cite in this speech. But I would be remiss if I didn't highlight two people in particular, Mark Vano and Mark Martini. I grew up looking up to a lawyer named Mark, my brother. So it's only fitting that I just say from the bottom of my heart that your friendship, advice, and camaraderie has been the indispensable backbone of my ACBA career and getting to this point at this podium as president. But beyond the legal community, my bedrock of support and confidence comes from my family and my faith. For me, the stereotype of the in-laws has never been less appropriate. Harriet and Ray Bong have meant so very much to me, professionally and personally. Yeah, I married into getting Steelers season tickets, but whatever. But that is a pittance of the joy and support that has grown from being welcomed as their son-in-law. My sister Ivy has always taught me not to take things so seriously, have a little fun. That and a little joy of disco, rock, and reggae music. This coming year, I'll need to keep all those distractions in mind, keep them close by. Though we really didn't grow up in the same house or even the same community. Every moment of my childhood, I recall looking up to my big brother. Perhaps that's why I followed him to law school. He also has been a mentor for me as a husband and father and member of his Jewish community in Columbus, Ohio. My sister-in-law, Mindy, has been a shining beacon of how to be passionate about those causes and people who matter most to you. Parents strive to give their children the tools and opportunities to succeed, and my parents did just that, and much more. Through some hard work, saving, tenacity, my parents made it possible for me to graduate from college and from law school without the burden of student debt. It is not many of us are given that opportunity, and it is a dream that I hope to repeat for my boys. But more than financial security, my parents taught me to care for those less fortunate, to treat others with dignity and respect, and to constantly seek to be the better Hal Coffey than I was the day before. That's what I hope to teach our twin boys, Zachary and Eli. Every day is a new adventure, a new lesson learned, and a new terrible joke or pun told, whether that's for me or for them. And that's not for all of us, that's not just for them, that's for all of us. This last thank you is partially looking back and partially a preemptive matter. Most of my best friends in college are or were sports writers. And when I introduced them to Erica Baum, every single one said that I outkicked my coverage and then some. They don't know the half of it. I simply cannot imagine any aspect of my days being any better without her. An amazing woman, friend, mother, daughter-in-law, aunt, sports medicine physical therapist that I meet too often, and wife. I apologize now for the small talk, receptions, and events you will have to attend. This coming year, while I'm ACBA president, will stretch both of our time and our patience to the limit, but I wouldn't want to take this journey with anyone else standing right next to me. Thank you all, Thank you all for letting me take some time to outline my goals for the coming year, and thank those who have led me to this moment. Now it is my pleasure to introduce Rick Weedman, the president of the Allegheny County Bar Foundation.
I understand it was supposed to be Covfefe with coffee, not coffee with coffee. Thank you. It's been my privilege to serve on the foundation board